Now I'm going to read The Intellectual Expert. As I shared at the beginning, I am a dark intellectual expert. So I've mastered that path, and I recognize when it presents itself in this lifetime. And I can honestly say that I've used the category of my dark path to help me in business situations more successfully than in personal situations. But hey, that's my experience. The affirmation: I am an intellectual expert, and I am curious and connected, and I choose to be kind. The Intellectual Expert LightPath. As an intellectual expert, you are a specialist. You acquire extensive knowledge that provides clarity and understanding to others. You are highly skilled and insightful in your field and work well alone. You like expert status and recognition, and why not? You have done the work, the study, and the research. Your core energy as an intellectual expert is desire to acquire knowledge and specialization in one or two fields. This core energy represents those positive core values deep within you that create an expansion of your energy, that creates thoughtful outcomes. Being a light intellectual expert means that you thrive on having intimate knowledge of your chosen field of interest. You never skim the surface, but rather spend your time researching and specializing in one or two topics that captivate you. The image of a pyramid or triangle above your head, instilling the ideas and thoughts that flow from your research and learning into a peak of specialization. How spectacular is that? You can see the difference from a dark controller and a light controller, and you will hear and see a difference from an intellectual expert. So remembering there's 3 paths in the intellectual category: controller, expert, and lateral thinker. Each of those paths in the category of the intellectual have their own special, unique experience. Okay, who am I? I respond to the world through my mind. I have a considerable intellect that may or may not have been served by the education system. I, for one, can say a little bit about me personally is that, I'll just say I did not attend high school. Just ask me. I thought I knew everything. I didn't like it. I didn't attend. When I trust my brain, I don't make mistakes. Now, with that being shared, I was just thinking, and I was very arrogant, and I drove my mom crazy for the way that I was. But I really did think, I was like, come on, man, there has to be something more. And so I chose to go work. And that's what I did. I'm not suggesting that anyone goes and does that. I'm just sharing my experience. There isn't anything that I can't solve when I put my mind to it. I know more about 1 or 2 topics than anyone else. I am very intelligent and highly skilled and like to be recognized for what I know. I love to share my knowledge and skills and admit that I enjoy the attention and status that my expert knowledge brings to me. I may seem arrogant and dismissive of those I consider not so learnt or as expert as myself. As Muhammad Ali said, I am the greatest. And I feel the same way about my status in my field. I am insightful when it comes to my own work, and I live in my own world of ideas and theories. When I occasionally question my work, I worry that I haven't done enough to be considered an expert on that subject. On those days, I also feel dissatisfied with my achievements. I may be hard to get to know as I spend a lot of time in my mind. I don't really have much interest in people's feelings, and others have difficulty getting to know me. I certainly have trouble with intimacy and with expressing my feelings. They seem so unimportant to me. I often forget to praise others and thank them for the things that they do, but this doesn't mean that I don't appreciate them. What am I doing here? My joy comes from acquiring extensive knowledge in a specialized field so that I can provide clarity and understanding to others. I know that the part of my purpose is to theorize, debate, and study and research just the joy of expanding the knowledge base, not only for practical application. I value intelligence, knowledge, and efficiency, and set high expectations for myself and for others. And this is true. I love having intellectual conversations with people who are being kind. And one gift that I get from my dark intellectual expert is that I can tell when someone is being sneaky and is beating around the bush to find out answers to something of their ego, for their self-importance that is none of their business. So intellect sometimes can play that game, but it doesn't serve any purpose. Intellectual expert characteristics: value intelligence and knowledge, acquire extensive knowledge in a specialized field, highly skilled, like to theorize, debate, study, and research, insightful about any areas of interest, love to share knowledge and skills, great joy from expanding the knowledge base, live in my own world of ideas and theories. So this person, this light intellectual expert, just loves knowledge, just loves it, loves it, loves it, and honors itself by only taking on the most two fields, because knowledge and expertise is very, very important to them. I admire that in an expert, in a light expert. I admire how they want to have such knowledge and then share it. You can really, really trust a light intellectual's perspective because they have done the work and it is their purpose. If they came in here as an intellectual expert to choose that experience and they're doing it, you can trust it. There's no reason to question it, but they do like to debate, so have fun with that. Who is the intellectual expert? Remembering, people with an intellectual soul path are inherently inquisitive and connected. This means that you are an intellectual person who is curious, needs to process, is unique, and is kind. Your superpower is your brain power. That's for all three intellectual soul paths. Special gifts and greatness of the intellectual expert soul path: specialist and researcher, and who loves to contribute. So, the meaning of specialist for an expert. The intellectual expert takes the time and puts in the effort to specialize. Whatever takes your fancy, you want to know everything about it. You want to know the most about it. You want to be the best. Your mind is a muscle that you can just love to stretch, just for the fun of it. You love to acquire extensive knowledge in your chosen specialized field. The desire to specialize and to be the best is an incredible life skill. You need to be recognized and rewarded for your achievements. Intellectual experts will blossom when others acknowledge what they have studied, discovered, and understood. So if you see that in an intellectual expert, do let them know. Because remember, we are all here to help each other be in the light paths, to be our greatest. Why? Because we're all connected. We all need each other. We all need each other for our soul's evolution. Research. Intellectual experts love to study and go deep into a subject. You do not skim the surface of any subject you are interested in. Once you find something you're curious about, you're captivated for hours. Happily spending time with data and knowledge, you find joy in uncovering it all. You need to find the resources and make the time for study, though. Once you have found a subject that excites you, you just love to research and go deeper and deeper and find the information that stimulates your great mind. You are insightful in your areas of interest and live in your own world of ideas and theories. Contribute. Because you have done the research and taken the time to delve into a subject, intellectual experts are able to provide clarity and understanding to others. You just love to share your knowledge and your skills. You need to find opportunities to contribute and share what you know with others. Place yourself in position peer environments. Connect with others who share your interests. Your need to choose to contribute and share. You get great joy from expanding the knowledge base. You know, I just thought of something. What would it be like for an intellectual expert if there was like a treasure hunt? Like, use this theory of a treasure hunt. So there's so many clues for this treasure hunt, for this treasure. Gosh, I mean, would they ever get it done? But the extensive research that they would do, oh my gosh, the journey and the excitement they would find along the way. Oh, I don't know why I didn't think of that later. That just sounds so much fun to me. Some expert tools. Some questions you can ask yourself. Do I have all of the facts? Is this my specialty? That's a good one. So an RX prescriptive action for you experts. Determine what you know. Choose what to specialize in. So the intellectual expert in a nutshell: specialist, research, contribute. Superpower, brain power. Intellectual, curious, process, unique, and kind. Some people who have passed over, some famous people who have passed over, who have lived the life of an intellectual light expert: George Harrison, Jimi Hendrix, Nelson Mandela, Muhammad Ali, Nat King Cole. We're all intellectual experts. Maybe do some research. Check all those out and see how they live their life, and see if you can recognize the expertise in them. Now, as I shared, I'm going to read the dark path of this intellectual expert. And remembering that the dark path is a mastered path. It's a mastered skill. Something you're very familiar with, that has been there, done that energy about it. As a dark intellectual expert, you're just as likely to be a specialist who loves to research and contribute all of the light path characteristics that I had read, as you are to take on the collapsing behavior. So again, when you're noticing the dark intellectual expert, read the light path intellectual experts first, then continue on with your dark. Just always reach for the light. Who is the dark path intellectual expert? The core energy of the dark intellectual expert is thinking that you can never be nor do enough. Being dissatisfied with your achievements. Constantly seeking approval and thinking that you are always lacking. I feel that I have never done enough, whether it is enough study, enough research, or having enough experience. I am always lacking. I'm a peculiar mix of arrogance in my intellectual abilities, combined with a chronic lack of confidence in my activities. I think I'm better than you and look down on those who aren't constantly improving themselves in their personal and business lives. Not only do I believe that I have never done enough, but I also believe that you have never done enough. I am disappointed in my achievements and in your achievements. So noticing the light characteristics, the light beliefs of an intellectual expert to the dark intellectual expert. Other negative characteristics. Although I never feel worthy of your praise, I constantly seek your demonstrated approval. In this, I hold yet another double standard, as I never think to praise those around me. I don't and won't understand emotions. They seem so unruly and non-intellectual. I only value what I consider to be intelligence. Some dark intellectual expert characteristics: forget to praise and thank others. Feel I'm always lacking. Hard to get to know. Believe others have not done enough. Constantly seek approval. No interest in others' feelings. Worry that I haven't done enough. Mixture of arrogance and lack of confidence. Spend a lot of time in my mind. Disappointed in achievements of others. More pieces of your dark path puzzle. Dark path need. Need to feel like an expert. To act like I know it all. The antidote. Accept that it is okay for others to have their own expertise. You criticize only because of feelings of inadequacy. Trust that together we know what we need to know. Dark fears? I will never be enough. It doesn't matter what I do. I am not really clever. I am arrogant and dismissive of others. I have no compassion. Dark path identity. I am not enough. Dark path subconscious reaction. I don't know enough. You don't know enough. So just not enough. The difference from the light to the dark. In the light, they really, really need to talk and share their intellect with like-minded people. In the dark, they don't feel that they're masters at it. They just haven't done enough. They really put so much untruths, fear into what they think they're lacking. So you can feel the difference from the light to the dark. It is an emotional scale awareness. But as I shared, if you know, and if you are one, and if you know someone who's a dark expert, you knowing that, maybe you also know some of the key tools to help them shift out of it. Give them something very positive to think about.